Okay, so we're gonna do a very defined eye with a very graphic winged liner, and I need to prep my skin, so I'm gonna be using the Ren Daily Steady Glow Daily AHA Tonic, or whatever it's called, and I'm gonna be using it with a reusable gun round. This is clean; it's just stained from makeup. I'm just gonna start buffing my skin to lift any dead skin that I may have, especially around my nose. I get a lot of buildup of like flakiness around here, and this is going to not only exfoliate, but it's going to give me a first layer of hydration. And this one is a really good AHA based exfoliant. It's cruelty free, it's paraben free, it's clean beauty, and it's really good for people with sensitive skin. And now I'm going to be applying a tiny bit of moisturizer. I'm using the Peter Thomas Roth Peptide 21 Lift and Firm. I really like this for under makeup because it's not too greasy, it's not too light either, but it just provides the right amount of moisture. So I'm just going to apply that everywhere, even my eyes. And next up, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I am going to do my skin first because I'm not going to be using a lot of like dark shadow around my eyes. So it's just easier when I'm doing like a graphic cat eye just to do my base first. That way I don't have to be super precise when I'm doing my concealer. So I'm just spreading down with my fingers only on the high points of the cheeks. And this is going to shine through the foundation. It's very intense, so I like to use it under, but it looks amazing on top of the foundation as well. And for my foundation, I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Reboot foundation just because it's very light. It has the right amount of coverage for me, but it's very fresh. I love the finish. It's very natural, but it covers. So I'm going to be using that, and I'm actually going to apply it with my fingers because I like the way it goes on. And it blends into the skin very easily and seamlessly. And I find that it doesn't sink into my pores either. And for my concealer, I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Self-Setting Concealer. I find that while it doesn't crease too much, I do still have to set it. But it does a pretty good job at staying put. And I'm just going to use it around my nose, on the tip of my nose where I need a tiny bit more coverage, and on some spots. I'm not sure if this is going to cover spots, but we're gonna see. And the finish of this concealer is very nice because it's not super drying. It covers a lot. I think it's very good for someone with normal to dry skin, or for mature skin too. Oh, and it actually did a really nice job at covering spots and little marks that I've had, that I have from previous spots. Alright, now that I see my skin, I think I need a tiny bit more highlighter, so I'm going to be using again the Charlotte Tilbury one. I'm just going to apply a tiny little bit with my fingers, only on the tops of my cheekbones. I don't want to have a lot of shimmer everywhere, just be very strategic about it. And on the bridge of my nose. I mean, you can see it's starting to crease a little bit here, the concealer, so I do need to set it. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to do that now. I'm going to leave the rest of the skin bare for now, but I'm going to be coming back to it after I do my eyes. And with whatever is left on the brush, I'm just going to go over my eyes to use sort of like as a primer. And going back with the same powder that I use on my face, I'm going to be using on my eyes just to set that concealer so that everything blends in seamlessly. Alright, before I continue with the rest of my face and my eyes, I'm going to be doing my brows. And I just want a tiny bit of definition. I don't tend to do a lot to my brows just because I have my bangs and they are usually covered, so I don't really see the need. So I'm just filling in the gaps I have, and I keep brushing them up. So I like to break the pencil so to make sure that I don't have like any hard lines. Focusing in on the high point of the brow. And this is actually a really nice pen. It's by PERIPERA, which is, I believe it's a Korean brand. Yeah, it's made in Korea, and it's from the pharmacy. It's really inexpensive, but it's really good. It's very comparable to the Anastasia Brow Wiz, which I know is very popular. And it's really nice because the tip is very, very fine, very small. So it allows you to draw small hair strokes. Okay, so I did my foundation, I did my highlighter powder in the center of the face, I did my brows, and now I'm going to continue with the rest of the face. I'm going to be using the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel, which I believe they recently changed the formula of this, and from what I hear is not as good, which is a shame really because it's a really nice bronzer. But I'm going to be using it with the, what is this called? It's the Real Techniques. I'm just going to put it in the comments below. I'm just going to use it very lightly. I don't want a lot of this, but I do want some bronziness from this. So I'm just using it on the tops of my cheeks for a nice summer glow. And now here I'm seeing that I need a tiny bit more concealing, so I'm going to come back to that after I do the bronzer. And I'm actually going to take the concealer and just apply some of that here where I think I'm missing a bit of coverage. And I am actually going to use the Fenty Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzer. I have the lightest shade, which is very nice for contouring because as you can see, it's kind of gray. And I'm going to be using it with the same bronzer brush. And I'm using it like this because I don't want a lot of this. I don't want a lot of definition. I just want sort of like a hint in the shape of the brush because it's sort of like tapered. It allows me for some precision. If you want to be super precise, I would go for something smaller. But for what I want, this works. I'm just gonna use whatever is left under my jawline, and we are going to do blush. And I have a fair amount of glow on my face, so I'm gonna be using the SENNA Cosmetics blushes, and these are really good because they're cream, but they set sort of like a powder, so they're not gonna be super greasy. And I'm gonna be going with this shade here, which is sort of like a neutral shade. It's not too warm, it's not too pinky, it's just like right in the middle. So I'm just picking some of that up and just warming it on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to pat it with my fingers, very gentle. So to start the eyes, I'm gonna take a brown pencil, and I'm using Limitless Brown by Makeup Forever, and I'm just gonna start drawing my crease slightly above where my crease naturally goes. And with a small blending brush, I'm just gonna start blending that in. And I want to make sure that this is very smoked out. I don't want like hard lines anywhere. So I'm gonna take my time here and just blend that in. And do the same on the other eye. And using the Kat Von D shade in Light palette for the eyes, which is a very nice all matte palette. I'm gonna take this one here, which is sort of like a darkish brown. I'm gonna remove the excess of product from on the back of my hand and just go over that pencil to intensify it. And I'm gonna take a clean fluffy brush and just blend only the edges. I'm not blending everywhere, just the edge. In fact, just the top edge. With a flat brush, I'm gonna take this shade here, which is sort of like a neutral, warmish beige. And I'm just adding this on my mobile lid just for a tiny bit more contrast, because I think it's gonna look very nice against the black liner and against the crease that we created. And now we're gonna line. And for the liner, I'm using INGLOT, what is this called? AMC Eyeliner Gel. And I'm using this one because I think it's a tiny bit easier than liquid liners. I think it's more forgiving, and it gives you a tiny bit more time to make corrections. So I'm using it on a MAC 263 brush, which is very nice because it's slanted, so it kind of does the job, the work for me. And I'm just gonna start patting the liner. I actually need a mirror. Patting that liner as close to the lashes as I can get it, making it very thin on the inner corner. And I'm gonna start thickening it up, thickening it up, so like in the middle. And I'm going to work it under my lashes as well, on my bottom lashes. And with my eyes relaxed and looking straight ahead, I'm just going to bring it up. And this is so easy with this brush because the shape and the length sort of like, it does the work for you. Alright, I want the liner on the bottom to be kind of smoky. So it's going to be super graphic on the top and smoky on the bottom. And I'm going to take a very fine brush with the black that comes in the eye palette. And I'm just going to start smoking that line out underneath. And I gotta do this quickly in one eye at a time, just so that I don't give the liner, the gel liner, too much time for it to dry, because if I wait too long, it's not gonna blend. So I kinda need to work fast. I'm actually gonna take it all the way in. In with that same pencil brush. In the black, I'm just gonna smoke it out. Alright, I finished this side, now I'm gonna go to the next one. And this is the scary part, trying to make them look kind of similar. Alright, so my camera ran out of battery, but in the meantime I applied a tiny bit of cream liner in the waterline in the bottom, and I did my mascara using Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which I love because it gives so much volume, but I hate because it tends to smudge on me, especially like on hot days or if I am using like something very moisturizing under my eyes. I also applied false lashes. I did the Demi Wispies by Ardell. Okay, so the last thing I have to do is my lipstick. For that, I'm going to be using a nude lipstick. I think this look would look really good with a red lip. If you're going out at night or something like that, because it would be like very like striking. But today I'm going to be using nude, and I'm going to start lining my lips with Strip Down by MAC. And I'm actually going to sharpen it. And I'm just gonna start shading my shape. Especially on the top. So I went over quite a bit here, especially on the outer corners. And I'm actually going to fill them in using the same pencil. And using the Velvet, what is this called? Velvet Matte by NARS. This is a light nudie pencil. I'm just gonna apply it in the center. And this is typically very light for me, but because I have that darker pencil underneath, it's going to blend in really nicely. I'm going to apply a tiny bit of gloss on top, and I'm using the Kosas Lip Oil in the shade Jellyfish, which is a transparent gloss.